Good morning, Samboners, and welcome back. Welcome back to the Samboner Show. I'm your host, Samboner Mick, as always, alongside here, a good friend, the one, the only Mr. Colin Thompson. Good morning, Colin.
Mickey, big episode today, buddy. How you doing?
I'm doing great. I mean, the fact that it's 6 a.m., you drug me out of bed to just to record this episode is pretty ridiculous.
9:30 Eastern time, folks. This guy already buttered the toast for the kids, got them on the bus. Any day I'm wearing a Lost Boys hat and a Shots and Giggles shirt, I'm happy. And no, I'm not in Key West, Mick. And yes, Mick, you are invited down every second of the month.
I was going to say, man, every time I talk to you, you're in Key West or you're in Annapolis, you're in Florida, you're in Charlotte. I mean, you can't fucking track this guy down.
And that is why we're doing this series of different locations, adding something new to the Samboner Show and to the Samboner page. Everyone's always texting us, Mick. Hey, I'm in Seattle. Hey, I'm in Avalon. Hey, I'm going to Philly. Hey, I'm in South Jersey. Where do I go get a bite to eat? I'm in Annapolis. I'm in Key West. I'm in Tampa. I'm in Clearwater. I'm in Orlando. Here's where you go. Right to the Samboner page. We're going to have a whole travel section. As we make these episodes, new things will come out. So expect once a month, probably on different locations. Our first location is Key West. But before we get into it, Mickey, I know you want to sponsor. You want to shout out.
And hopefully one day you'll invite me to these destinations. But that's either here nor there. But yes, this show could not be possible without our sponsors and our good friends at the Original Fudge Kitchen. The Original Fudge Kitchen, shipping fudge and sweet treats all throughout the country. Chocolate, vanilla, peanut butter, you name it, they got it. Go on their website, order some Fudge Kitchen today. And also our good friends at the Rust Belt Nation, slinging all types of fly gear. Colin, I got to get you one of these reverse weave hoodies, the most comfortable hoodie I've ever put on my back. Today I'm sporting a little collab they did with a local artist in Philadelphia, Aloysius McElwain. It's a little homage to, that's right, homage, baby. Homage to Philadelphia and all the outskirts. Some really cool designs on here. Give them a look, rustbeltnation.com. Let's get this show on the road.
Looks really sharp, man. Yeah, so I think
so fly.
This all stems from you and I traveling, eating, and doing different things and being a local, right? Like that's the number one thing for me. My wife always makes fun of me. Like we're walking around, I'm like, I'm a local, even though I just got to the town for the first time and I just texted Mick and was told where to go. You know, like I think at least me, and that's why I love the Lost Boys, like live life like a Lost Boy. Like you just kind of wander around and like you find your niche, you meet a bartender or two, you find a restaurant you like and you get to know a server there or a manager there, or you know, you're at some place at a hotel in that little town and they kind of embrace you and you come back again and they know your name. I think I really enjoy that. I know Mick does as well. You know, we do the bar of the week on here. So, you know, this place, Key West, which is our episode this week, you know, it's near and dear to my heart. It's a little bit different for me because I've been so traveled. I think as a player, you know, what's home now? I don't really have that home. Like my parents aren't in Bucks County anymore. My mom has businesses, but there's no like, hey, my parents lived here for 40 years. You know, we've moved around a lot. Business wise, my mom has stores all up and down, you know, in the Northeast, and then Key West, she's had some as well. And my parents have had business entities all over. So I've been fortunate enough to be able to travel and be a part of that. Extremely blessed. It shaped me, changed my life. So my parents landed in Key West like 40 years ago when my uncle was stationed in Boca Chica Air Base, right north of Key West, about an island or two. And essentially, you know, called my dad and said, hey, come down, check this place out. And 40 years later, my family's still there. We had my, you know, Thompson family football camp down there. We have, you know, a crazy local following from bartenders, servers, managers, hotels, you know, owners of businesses. I mean, it's a little bit different because the place is so ran off of just bars, restaurants, hotels. It's hospitality 101, baby. There's beaches. Yeah. But it's unbelievable snorkeling and fishing capital of the world. Just so much to do down there. So
yeah, when I think Key West, I immediately think spring break.
Yeah, I know. And I'm like running away from it during that time because it's this chaos. You know, essentially Key West is shaped like it's a small island, 2 miles by 4 miles. It's small. The Key West airport's small. You know, as a kid, we'd fly into Fort Lauderdale and Miami, and that was it. I'll get into that in a little bit. Now they're flying direct from all over. I'm flying from DC direct this week. So, wow. You know, it's really grown the island. It's massive. It's still got that old pirate history. It's still got that old kind of wanderers vibe, Mike Leach, bar hopping, vibing around, do what you want, flip flopped in a t-shirt, Kenny Chesney, Jimmy Buffett situation.
So
Still
wait,
got
when
all
we
that.
talk about snowbirds, do we talk like is it mostly people from the Northeast flocking into Key West, or is it people from all over the country?
It's people from all over the country. You're going to see a lot of Midwest. You're going to see a ton of Northeast. Don't get me wrong. The
Right.
snowbirds usually stop like Naples, right? Like Fort
Yeah.
Lauderdale. That's where like that goes. And then like people vacation for weekends down in Key West because it's a lot. It's hard to get there and there's not a lot of room on the island. So it's unique in that perspective. Yeah, sure. Spring break. Yes. Fantasy Fest or Halloween. That's chaotic. I mean, that's Mardi Gras on steroids. Half the town's naked for the majority of the week. It's crazy. But it's I've never been. I don't plan on going. There's powerboat races, huge concerts. It's a right. It's like a cleaner version of New Orleans with a Nashville vibe, with this major Duval Street, right? Which is great. And it's got great bars and restaurants. We're going to get into that, but then there's these chains and these areas off of it. And I'm going to kind of explain that in a little bit. So it's a really unique thing. There's like two sides of the island, kind of the east and the west side, and then the middle is like kind of where locals eat and drink and all these different things, and it's all built around the water, right? Like just like a great beach town. So yeah, man. I mean, there's so much to dive into. I think. What do you think's first, Mick? Best sandwich?
Well, I mean, talk to me a little bit about that Mr. Z's joint. Is that like the local Philadelphia cheesesteak spot, or do they serve all types of other foods? Are they Philly transplants?
They
That
are
was
Philly
one hell of a review, dude.
Yeah, me and Ian Thomas, one of the best tight ends in the NFL. I drug him in there after a couple hoo-ha's, for lack of better terms, and him and I had a great time. We were at Mary Ellen's and we were over there for the vibrator races. Yes, you heard it.
What? Who? Huh?
You heard it. The vibrator races. We're going to get into that in a little bit.
It's the family show here, Colin. Relax.
That's right. No, that's the Samboners. There's no rules, baby. So this is Key West, man. This ain't freaking Avalon by the sea. So long story short, I think the other thing about Key West too, before we dive into it, is like truly everybody's accepted there. And I think that's a rarity in our company. I mean, our world, excuse me. Because, right, everybody says it, but like you look around and everybody looks the same. But there, every shape, every size, every color, whatever you're into, it all flies in Key West, which I think is really cool. And it's a really great place for that. That's not for you. Don't go. But in my opinion, I think there's a lot of really good stuff, going on down there when it comes to acceptance. Mr. Z's. Okay, Mr. Z's is the cheesesteak Philly spot. They're from the Northeast. They went to Father Judge. They went down there shipping the rolls. I mean, they have the fan pumping the cheesesteak smell out. When you walk within a block of that, I mean, it's legit.
Oh,
like I say with this, and we're going to get into Little Whitehouse subs in a second. Mr. Z's, Little Whitehouse subs. Little Whitehouse is from Baltimore. Mr. Z's, Philly. Both of those places would make it in Philly and Baltimore. I think that's the best. Like
they would make it, you said?
Financially, they would make it. They would stay. They wouldn't go out of business.
They would probably thrive too. So are they shipping the rolls down from Philadelphia?
Yep. The rolls are coming down. They're doing a great job. Amoroso style. Yep. So that's the cool part is it's a unique Philly perspective. When Pat Croce went down there too, decade and a half ago, and he started buying up bars and restaurants and bringing a lot of Philly people down, that's what happened as well. So there's a huge transplant of Philly. Northeast, it's a great question. So Mr. Z's is a premier cheesesteak pizza. Great. We're going to get into all that too. Little Whitehouse subs, unbelievable. They're Italian, they're turkey, they're roast beef. We get it for the boats to go out fishing in the morning. We get it for big events. You bring all your food right to Shots and Giggles. They deliver it right there. Big trays of food, Shots and Giggles, and the uncle's bar that's wearing the shirt.
Yeah, man.
You could just eat right there in the place, ordering drinks, having a great time.
These places stay open all night, like late night?
Yeah. So Mr. Z's is late night. Little Whitehouse is lunchtime.
Okay.
But all the bars are open till 4. It's a little different there.
Oh, wow. 4 a.m.
Yeah. Most of them, because I won't say most, but a good portion of them, at least the ones that are all off the water, because the servers need a place to go. The bartenders need a place to go to get a bite and a drink late night. And that's how they do it there. A huge Philly crowd. Like Philly J from Ben Salem. He works at Mary Ellen's. I see him all the time. Philly
who?
I call him Philly J, but he's a Ben Salem guy. So we were talking about Guido's, and he hasn't been up there in a bit. I'm like, dude, go to Guido's and right across from Holy Ghost Prep. It's really good cheesesteak. It's
no shit.
To me, it's in my top 10. I loved it. So yeah, best sandwiches, Little Whitehouse subs, Mr. Z's, B.O.'s Fish Wagon's been there forever. It's a legendary fish sandwich spot. The cracked conch sandwich, I've reviewed it twice now. It's ridiculous. Goldman's is great. And Sandy's is great. So great sandwiches down there. You can get a good sandwich there. You can, because it's that roots. They're flying it down. They're trying their best to make it work. They have really good Cuban bread down there too, which is freaking unbelievable. It's like a crustier, fluffy. It's good. It's flat. It's like a sandwich, but it's very good. And they press it sometimes. Like, it holds strong.
No, that makes sense, man. Good stuff.
We got breakfast.
So I mean, yeah. So we're in the midst of breakfast month. What was the breakfast scene down there looking like?
It's strong. I mean, you got in a drinking town, you need a strong breakfast, right? And honestly, there's a new one on the scene, the cafe, which has become our favorite place in town. It is a vegetarian spot, but they have, which I love too. It's unique in that perspective, but they have fish too. So I got these shrimp tacos last week that were just ridiculous
for breakfast.
Breakfast shrimp tacos with eggs.
Baby, now we're talking.
Dude, the refried beans, the whole nine. That's like an unbelievable fresh. So I love the cafe. They got ridiculous coffee. But the big two forever have always been Blue Heaven. It's famous. The roosters are running around. Great fresh food. It's chaos there. If you want to go earlier. A little secret too. I hate to give the secrets out, but go sneak in and sit at the inside bar. You can get the same breakfast. And it's the same vibe.
So you brought up the Cuban bread, and now I see that you have Kim's Cuban and Cuban Coffee Queen. Like, is Cuban the theme down there? Like,
there's a lot of it, yeah, because of how close in proximity it is. The joke down there is, hey, you can go to, you're closer to Cuba than you are to the closest Walmart. You're truly at the end of the road, folks. And I'm going to get into flying and how to get down there at the end of the show, but you fly in Miami and it's a 4-hour drive south. You can fly right into Key West now, but you're at the end of the road, and we're going to get into that too. But it's a great point, Mick. There's a huge influence on that. So Blue Heaven, Pepes, the cafe, Breakfast Club's great. Harpoon Harry's a place that Mike Leach would sit at all the time. It's a legendary spot. It's just a diner right in the heart of kind of Key West, right off the boat. So a lot of people are there before they're fishing. Like, we went fishing a couple times when I was down last time. Like, literally the two captains we were going out with, they were sitting there having coffee and eggs right next to us. So it's got that vibe. Kim's Cuban's famous for having unbelievable Cuban coffee, breakfast sandwiches, ridiculous. Sandy's Cafe, same thing. Cuban Coffee Queen, same thing. They're all scattered throughout town. We get bags of coffee to go and bring it home. It's delicious. And then in the morning, guys, date and time, this place is a health food store. I get the liver cleanse. I get the boop. I get the immunity shot. I get the whole nine. Whack them back, do a coffee, get like an egg and like salad wrap just to get things going in the morning. And that's great.
I'm sold. Samboner Tour 2024. Let's get this thing going. Samboner Nation. We're going to Key West. We're all going to stay at Colin's house.
Super Bowl weekend. We just rent. You got to rent. You're not staying in my place. And then lastly, a secret is Latitudes, which is Sunset Key across from Key West. There's two islands right across from Key West that the Army Corps engineers dug up the channel there, because it's real shallow water in the Gulf of Mexico where the Atlantic meets the Gulf. That's where Key West is. And they dug up this channel and made these two islands across from Key West. One is full of nobody, and one is full of millionaires, billionaires. Oprah's lived there. But there's you could go out there and book breakfast. It's the same price as any breakfast in town, but it's the best view in the world. It's unbelievable. It's called Latitude Sunset Key. Check that out too.
Don't you just wonder? You want to just knock on one of their doors and be like, "What exactly are you doing?"
Well, that's Philly. I think Philly, like, see, I was like, "Hey, man, what do you do for a living?" The thing about Key West too is, you sit at a bar. There's someone next to you that may have living paycheck to paycheck. There's someone next to you that is a billionaire. And everybody acts the same and just chills out. Like I said, everybody's accepted. It's kind of unique and cool that way. You got to feel it out.
It's like that. Fried Huns took me on a little boat adventure in Charleston, South Carolina. And he took us back through these little canals. And we're just like house after house, like $20 million house, $20 million house. Like walls just like dropping. Like, yeah, your boat was more expensive than the two houses you own back in the East Coast. Like, it's insane. Yeah. Insane.
Yeah.
But dude, let me ask you a quick question. The Super Bowl scene down there seemed to have a lot of buzz. There's like a chili cook-off going on, cheesesteak cook-off. What's going on down there?
Chaos. And I want to keep it moving, because we're going to get to that, Mickey boy, when we start talking about one of the best bars in town, Tattoos and Scars, because they put the chili cook-off on and they put a Super Bowl party on that can't be beaten. But it is a football town, Mick. Key West is a football town. Don't get it twisted. Key West is a football town. There's a lot of transplants down there that are bartenders, servers, owners, whatever, or locals that move down there. So when you're walking down the street on NFL game day, it's like a rainbow out there of colors of people wearing, Bucks jerseys, my Dolphins jerseys, Eagles jerseys, Cowboy jerseys, Seahawk jerseys. I mean, Helicopter Dave, who's hanging out in Shots and Giggles with, he's a big Seahawk fan. Everyone's got nicknames down there. So
Philly J and Helicopter Dave. I love it.
Oh, dude, it's great. So we're going to keep it moving down the list here. Really, the bars and restaurants on the water, you can't really beat them, right? It's all these famous ones. East side of the island, these all be in order here too. Salute, Louis' Backyard, Four Marlins, Southernmost Mansion's awesome. It's right near the Southernmost Point. Really good spots there. And then on the west side, you got the Pier House. I like Loggerheads. A good place.
Quick one on Loggerheads. Is that a chain or is that a Philadelphia sports bar by chance?
No. So on the west side, you got the Pier House and you got Loggerheads, which is just a small little dive bar right on this little beach, this little public beach. Not big.
There's a Loggerheads in Folly Beach, South Carolina. We went to a bachelor party there once, and we walk in. It's like Cole Hamels jerseys, Donovan McNabb jerseys. It's all Philadelphia sports paraphernalia. Really, really cool. Thought maybe it had affiliation.
No affiliation there. So there's the east side, the west side. Like I said, the Pier House, you got Loggerheads right on the beach. Great little spot. Conch Republic, happy hour, buy one, get one. Can't beat it. Beers are in a huge ice tub there. It's been in the bar week on my show a couple times. I love it there. Schooner Wharf's an old school spot. When you're at Conch Republic, by the way, get the Royal Reds. They're a non-menu item. Unbelievable. Peel and eat shrimp. They're like lobsters.
Colin, I'll be happy to get a sandwich there once you invite me down. Honestly,
there you go. There it is. You got the Boathouse at Turtle Crawls, which is famously Turtle Crawls have passed. Now the Boathouse bought it, flipped it, turned it, rocked it out. Unbelievable place. Another great happy hour spot. Half Shore Raw Bar, which is near and dear to my heart. One of my favorite places on the entire planet. Grew up sitting at a bar still there, sitting next to my dad, crushing oysters and shrimp and feeding the fish out back. And it's the best bartenders in town, the best old school vibe in town, shuffleboard, great time. And then Dante's next door is a legendary spot. Huge, like spring break pool parties. I get that. But when that's not going on, it's a great spot to get a great bite to eat because Prime, the best steakhouse in town, is the same kitchen as this huge pool bar, essentially. So you're getting the same unbelievable ceviches and food and fresh fish. So that's kind of the water bar scene before we move on to the best places for lunch in town.
Seems like a very just like old school, affordable island, no frills, no shirts, no problems, that type of deal. And I mean, that's kind of like a lost art, right? Because you're starting to see even like in Sea Isle, for example, like all these old establishments like La Costa's being ripped down, the Duvel was flipped over, and everything's just like mainstream. Like the only $2 beer you can find anymore on the island is the VFW. And that's just whatever.
A lot of polo shirt wearing, which I get, and there's a place for that. I'm cool with that. But Key West, you pick what you want, man. Like you can wear the same long sleeve shirt and a pair of shorts and flip-flops and go into the nicest restaurant in town or the biggest dive in town. So
yeah, gotta love it.
It's a unique. Best place for dinner, Prime 951. Steakhouse is unbelievable. It's great. The service is unbelievable. You sit at the bar, you can sit at a high top, make reservations. The place is tremendous. It's been there right above Dante's forever. It's consistent. It's awesome. It's a fun spot. Latitudes, again, that's the private island across from Key West. You hop on a little ferry, it takes you over. It's a really cool experience. You got to book that a week, 2 weeks, month in advance. If you can't get on there, I suggest going on for breakfast or lunch. Just as good. Flamin' Billy, we went there a couple weeks ago. That's just tremendous. Really cool. Wine, beer only, but they have an awesome menu. Me So Happy, sushi place down there. Rocks and rolls right across from Mr. Z's. Tremendous spot. La Trattoria is really good. Legendary, dinner spot down there. Rooster goes out on Stock Island, which is the next island up from Key West. 15-minute Uber ride max. Really good pizzas and Italian food. And then Onlywood, which is new on the scene down there, right across from BO's, right near Schooner's Wharf. Really good steaks and pizzas and just like fresh stuff. So a lot of places to eat, Mick. That's the whole thing down there. You got to get active during the day, man. We're going to get in some things you can do to get active as I keep this moving here. I think one of my favorite
fan, man.
I know, dude. And I'm going to plow through here because we got to hit all these topics and we got a little time. So places you don't know about, but you should. I think first and foremost is the Bearded Lady. This is a great little bar. It's right next to Lost Boys. Beer and wine spot, but a really cool little vibe. Right near Green Parrot, which is one of the best bars in Key West. We'll get into that in a second. Not the Green Parrot in Newtown, folks. The real Green Parrot. So the Bearded Lady right next to Lost Boys. That's a really cool. Shout out to my boy Brian. Check them out. They got a great spot there. Excuse me. The Roost. An awesome cocktail bar. Key West, a lot of beers, well liquor, all that stuff. You go to the Roost, you get a ridiculously good cocktail. So absolutely love what they got going on there at the Roost. Really good spot. The Galleon. This place is hidden. It's in the back of a timeshare, excuse me. And it kind of looks like the bar belongs to the timeshare, but it doesn't. It's for anybody who wants to go. Buy one, get one free happy hour. It's right on the water. You can watch sunset there instead of going to the craziness in Mallory Square where all these people are watching sunset. You can kind of hide out there, have a couple of drinks, buy one, get one free happy hour. Pier House Sidebar is really good spot for lunch. Really good spot that people don't really know about to go sit at and have a good time. It's got a little beach. It's got a great little bar. One Duval, I think, is the restaurant out there. You can eat there too. Great TV, and literally you're right on the water. It's a good little spot. And then General Horseplay, kind of a newer on the scene. It's right near Hanks and the Bull. Really good spot. They got great music out back, usually a good time. But inside, it's cool. They have happy hour, Mick. You roll dice for what you pay for the beer during happy hour.
No way.
So I think one is 50% off. One is, if you roll a one, it's $1 for the drink. Two is 50%.
Generous heaven.
Yeah. Two is 50% off. Three, I think, is like roll again. And then 4, 5, or 6, you pay full price. So it's a cool spot. The happy hour's down there. Like everyone complains, oh my God, you're going to spend all this money. But if you know how to navigate the island and find a good time, it's affordable.
I mean, is it primarily a day drinking town?
Yeah, I think to me, you can have a late night and burn it down. But I think for me, like what makes Key West great is kind of rise early and go to bed early, because you may be going out fishing in the morning. You may be on a snorkeling trip. You may be on a sunset cruise. It's all inclusive. So like, there's a lot, there's a lot of things. There's a lot of things to do there during the day with the weather and all too. You want to rock and roll with the weather. And if it's a rainy day, Mick, it's not a bad
Yeah, I can't imagine. Like, come noon, like let's rock and roll, boys.
Oh
and girls.
yeah, dude, we're rocking
5 o'clock somewhere. When you're on an island like that.
No doubt, you're one of those places right there on the water, grabbing lunch, making plans for the day. Maybe pop into a tour. We'll get on all the fun things to do in a second. So
love it, brother. Love it.
While we're here, and all the bars of the week, all these places have been bars of the week. Pretty sure, if not, they're going to be. To me, the best bars in town are as follows. And this isn't in any order, but the Green Parrot's been there forever. It's the dive bar. It's always voted top 10 dive bar in the world. It was the bar of the week this week on my show. The place is awesome. The place is just something. They fly in the acts from all over the world when it comes to playing live music and rocking out. Nashville, Texas, you name it, Philly. They had the Juliana brothers from the Jersey Shore. They were down there.
They're nice.
Yeah. So
love the Juliana brothers.
They were there rocking it out when we were down on a Tuesday night. We caught the back end of them. So they have like a sound check at 5 o'clock. Then they'll have another show maybe at 7 and then one at 9. So they'll just roll it. The same band, just rolling through, man. 3 sets, 2 hours a piece, hour and a half a piece. Great live music. No food, just popcorn in the corner. And they're just pumping out the popcorn.
True story, real quick. True story about the Juliana brothers. Their last show at the Springfield Inn in Sea Isle, the Philadelphia Inquirer was there. And my aunt, uncle, Sue and John, my wife, Kathleen, and I, the 4 of us got a picture with the Juliana brothers. And we were on the Inquirer write-up as the picture in the Philadelphia Inquirer on their last episode at the Springfield Inn.
You got that framed at the house there, Mickey boy?
Sue's got it somewhere, man.
I love it, man.
Legendary group of guys, legendary place, Springfield Inn, back to Key West.
Yeah, man, no doubt. Jody's at the back bar. She's a huge, and Val at the Green Parrot. They're big Philly girls. So whenever I go in there, I already texted them, hey, I'm going to be in town this week. When are you working? They're like throwing beers at you. You're yelling across the bar at them. Like, I need this and that. I pushed back my meeting too there, Mickey, 10 minutes. So I'll be good. We got 20 men. So we could chop it up a little more. So yeah, I think Green Parrot is notoriously one of the best places. Notoriously is a bad word. It's a great spot. Guys, shots and giggles. I've talked about it all the time. It's being just transparent. It's my Uncle and Aunt's bar, but this place is the locals bar of Key West. Like, it's tremendous. You make friends in there. I mean, the impact that place has had on my family, tremendous. We found business partners for the podcast. We found hosts from the podcast out of it. We've had people come and volunteer to photograph when we had no photographer for our camp that we did, the Thompson Family Football Camp down there. And the guy took 1,000 photos, edited them all, and sent them to me for free. I mean, this place is like connections. It's the NFC East bar of Key West, they say, because my aunt.
Hold on a second. What am I doing wrong? So your aunt and uncle decide to hang them up, go down to Key West, open up a bar, and live the dream?
Yep, live the dream, man. Kibby used to work at Cactus Grill all the way up there at 611, and would work six months up there and 6 months down in Key West. And kind of the rest is history. And we've been following him when he was and his wife when they were at the Half Shell Raw Bar and Total Crawls, and then now two main establishes there in town, and now they've moved forward. So yeah, man, they're killing it. They're 10 years of business there for a small bar right behind Sloppy Joe's. It's like the destination right off of Duval Street, which is the main drag through town. It's the Bourbon Street. It's the whatever. A much.
Yeah, a lot of people ask me what I want to do when I grow up. I think I just figured it out.
No food either, man. Just rocking and rolling. And that's my next point, man. We bring in pizzas to there. They have a great, like, they call it the wine room, but it's a back room where the TV is and a huge, like, kind of high top table that's more of a bar. And we just load the pizzas up, the food up. They had the cheesesteaks rocking there for the game. Like, incredible. Like, a spread that you're not even paying for. You're just drinking, paying for your drinks like normal, and you have access to the full spread.
Sounds like an absolute blast, dude.
It's a blast, dude. So Shots and Giggles, love that. Mary Ellen's, this place is where the vibrator races are. I'm not going to dive into it because it's somewhat of a kid's show, but take your pick. They roll down.
Please do.
They roll down the track essentially, literally like cars that you used to make in 8th grade. You know, the wood shop cars. Like, they have that track set up, and they have slowest race. So who gets down there the slowest? They have the fastest races. What you do is you pretty much gamble on these things, and they announce them like Mike Tyson's coming into the ring. Insert all the funny names that would come with them. And when you gamble on it and win, you get half your money back. The other half goes to whatever charity they chose. They raise like almost 150 grand a year for charities from that place just on Thursday nights alone. So the Key West community is fun and funky, but they all come together through giving back. It's really unique. Like, the place is tremendous. So Mary Ellen's, check that out. They got great grilled cheese, great tomato soup.
Is that the same event where you guys dress up in the one pieces?
No, that's the onesie bar crawl, which I'll get into in a second too.
Oh, okay. So I'm confusing that with the onesie bar crawl.
Nutty.
Bunch of weirdos kind of shit.
That's right, man. It's where the weird go pro. That's what they call it. That's why the Samboners will fit in perfectly down there. So
let's go.
So Mary Ellen's is cool. It's got the old school Christmas lights, the old school bars on the wall, and that's where Ben Salem J works. So great spot. They got great bartenders. They got like this Jameson, like, cream coffee slushy that's like famous down there. They got great food too. Late night food 2 to 4. It's a good spot. So Mary Ellen's, I talked about Half Shell Raw Bar already. Rick's, this place got like 20 bars inside of it. There's great places to go. Pizza place, Tree Bar. There's all these different things. Up top, I like the little crow's nest up there. That's my favorite spot. Look down on the live music. And then, Tattoos and Scars, which is where the onesie pub crawl is established, where the chili cook-off is established. So they do a lot of, events out of there, which is just like Shots and Giggles, which is next door. So Tattoos and Scars. I mean, this place is cool. It's unique. It's fun. It's an interesting vibe. It's like the biker bar that's like super clean and fun and great bartenders, great service. Like, this is a really cool spot. And they do the onesie pub crawl, which they started because the week before the Super Bowl, people didn't know what to do with themselves. What are we doing? It's Sunday. Well, let's just get in onesies and bar crawl around town. Started with 10
yeah,
people.
why not?
Yeah, Key West. So it started with 10 people. Again, it's a fundraiser. You pay $30-$40. You get tickets, drink tickets for 20 bars in town, and you put your name on them, and every bar you go to, you get a drink back, and then your name goes into the raffle for that bar where they give out gift cards, they give out whatever, and of course it all goes to charity. So it's a really cool thing what they got going on with charity and fun down there, and another reason for people to drink and eat.
Let's get involved. We got to get involved with that, man.
Yeah,
Samboner's got to get on board.
Best bars in town: Green Parrot, Shots and Giggles, Mary Ellen's, Half Shell Raw Bar, Rick's, and Tattoos and Scars. That's my best bars in town, man. We're ripping it up today. Man.
I love it. I love it.
We like live music, right? Jersey Shore loves live music.
Hell yeah, dude.
So best live music in town for me, this place, Hanks, man, came on the scene strong. Garbo's, which is a food truck, which is in the back of there. They were on Diners, Drivers, and Dives. They got great burgers, great food. So Hanks is killing it with live music.
Hanks was on Diners, Driving, and Dives?
The food truck behind it was.
Oh, okay.
But nice. It's attached to the property. So it's all on one property. There's like 3 or 4 bars on the one property there. They got great live music. The intro to all our songs, all our podcasts is Joe Samba, who everybody found there at Hanks. Now he tours the freaking country, but he kills it. So Hanks is great. Smoked Tuna, great live music. Hog's Breath, great live music. And for those that keeping score at home, Irish Kevin's, I know everybody loves that up there in the Northeast. Irish Kevin's got some funky, good live music too. So, yeah.
Beautiful.
Good stuff. Best pizza. Whew. I know it's crazy, but this Duetto's pizza place, guys. Used to be Paradise Pizza. The same guy went over and opened Duetto's. It's legit. It would make it in the Northeast. Absolutely. I think Mr. Z's would as well.
Style? Is it like
New York style.
Sicilian, New York style.
Yeah, Philly style. It's
Okay.
freaking tremendous. I mean, crispy, crust is great, good sauce, love it. So Duettos, absolutely love that place. Mr. Z, we talked about that before, and then Rooster and all like you could bring those into Tattoos and Scars and Shots of Gills. They're all pretty much right there. You bring them in there, you chop it up with the group. So
I gotta be honest with you, Colin. Key West sounds like an awful time.
it sounds horrendous, and we're just getting into the fun things to do down there, guys. It's a fishing town. It's a scuba diving town. It's the fishing capital of the world. The reef runs all the way from West Palm Beach, all the way past Key West, and all the way to the Dry Tortugas, which is an amazing trip. It's a fort out in the middle of nowhere. I highly suggest it. You can go on the boat and do a full day trip. They feed you twice. You get drinks on the way back, or you can get you could take a seaplane out there, which is really cool too. And it's the most beautiful place on the planet. It's an old war fort that was built to protect the states from essentially boats coming up and coming down around from South America and from Europe. They can't cut through the Keys. They got to go down around this fort to get up to the Mississippi and get to Mexico and get on their way to San Diego. So it's a really old war fort. Check that out. That's just so cool.
Any golf courses around, Colin?
Yeah. So I'm getting into that here. There's one golf course down there. It is fun. That's it, man. One golf course. It is funky. It's fun. And it's totally Key West, man. 18 holes. It's right on Stock Island, right? Like literally 100 yards off of Key West. And dude, they got freaking roosters running around, iguanas everywhere, tarpon, which is a huge game fish. Check that out. That's cool too. I think some fun things to do down there. Sounds crazy. Take the family to the Butterfly Museum. This thing's incredible. Like, trust me, I'd rather be at happy hour, but if you're trying to kill time, Butterfly Museum, awesome. Sunset cruises, they're really cool. Snorkel trips, they're great too. I would suggest going to the Southernmost Point. I think it's cheesy and it's tchotchke. Maybe drive by and check it out, but the picture and all, it is what it is. Let's see. The concerts there are incredible. This new amphitheater at the Truman Waterfront Park is just ridiculous. We saw Jimmy Buffett there. It's like 2,500 people. Tickets are just so affordable, and there's like bars everywhere, food everywhere, and it's just ridiculous. Like you're like, we're out on the water.
How many people does it hold? That's a big name for an amphitheater.
2,500 people.
Wow, that's a big dude. We paid like him with just 2,500 people is a special show.
$95. It was like crazy, dude.
It was way bigger than that.
Yeah, dude, he was huge. Trust me. Anywhere else, those tickets are big, but it's just kind of how they do it down there.
That's awesome.
The Hemingway House is cool. Fort Zach Taylor, where Truman Park is. Check that out. They did a great job behind that, right behind Truman Annex, where Harry S. Truman used to run the country from a couple months a year when he was in president. The Contour train, I think you should do it. It's cheesy. You're going to see it around town, but you learn a lot about the town and where you're at. Onesie Pub Crawl, week before the Super Bowl, awesome. Sunday of the Super Bowl, chili cook-off, do it. Incredible. My favorite thing to do in town, one of my favorites, the Wave Runner tour around the island is so cool, especially on a calm day. You jump in the water. They explain to you where you're at in the world. You get a good perspective of it. You go around the whole island. It takes like two hours. It's a really good time. And then my favorite thing to do, Paul Menta, he's a Philly guy, and he opened the first legal rum distillery down there. He also was one of the first chefs at Latitudes in Sunset Key. He opened Cuban Coffee Queen, but he owns the first legal Key West rum distillery. The rum tasting. It's the best pina colada in the world. His wife makes it, hand grinds.
What's it called? What's this place called again?
First legal rum distillery. Chef's Distilled. He let me sign a barrel last year. I'm like, I don't deserve this. But I mean, literally the guy's like best friends with Jim Cantori. Jim Cantori texts him like, okay, now's the best time to make rum, because they're talking about the pressure when the hurricanes come through, how to do it. Like,
how about that?
It's cool, man. He's like really chef's distilling the rum. It's not like this mass produced thing. Like we have a couple bottles in the house. Like I just sip on it with ice and water and a little slice of lemon. Like I love it. And the place is great. The best thing you're ever going to drink is their pina colada. And even if you're not a fan of them, go. They hand grind the coconut.
This is a bar, right? A restaurant?
No, it's a rum tour. So you're going to go through their little shop, the little rum tour, and then you're going to go sit at a bar essentially, and they're going to have you sip on the rums.
That's right down my alley, dude.
Dude, it's ridiculous. And guess where it is? Right near everything. You know, like, you don't rent, and I'm going to get into that too in here a little bit. Like, you don't rent, but like, my opinion, don't rent the scooters like everybody does. You're just asking to get hurt.
Well, it's funny you say that, because I know my brother Joe spent a week in Key West for spring break, and I think all those knuckleheads crashed like a good 10, 15 scooters.
Yeah, so don't do that. I wouldn't rent a bike either, man. I mean, the farthest you're going to walk is 3/4 of a mile. I mean, that's the farthest you're going to walk. And if you want to do it, you just hop in an Uber and you get there in a minute. The Ubers they're everywhere. Like 1 minute, boom, they're right next to you because it's a small island. It's only 2 by 4 miles. So it's a lot of walking. It's a lot of maneuvering. But again, check out First Legal Rum Distillery. Place is crazy. Best place to shop. I had to throw it in there, right? Some people like to shop, listen to the show. I have to say this. Be aware of the Chotsky t-shirt shops that are built for cruise ship people. Like, they're not the best shopping place, and they're just trying to scam you, right? But Lost Boy Creations, I wear all the hats. This place is incredible. It's right next to Bearded Lady, right across the street from Green Parrot. The place is awesome. Like, the style, the swag. I have like 5 hats, the t-shirts, how good Matt is. They're making custom surfboards, skateboards. They have live music in there. They close down the venue, and they rock out in there. Like, it is a really cool, like, bar, store, music venue. I don't even know, but the place is freaking kick-ass. Saltwater angler, all your fishing stuff. Love going there. Really cool, like Columbia, Patagonia vibe. Tuna skin's cool. Tucker Provisions.
I mean, this truly is a family place. I mean, the women and children can go out, hunt for dinner, and the kids can still get a lot of fun time in the day. That's awesome, man.
Tucker Provisions, Besame Mucho, and Local Color, a place I grew up going to, buying hacky sacks from, so I can just run around right next to the half shell. Really good spot. But I'll say this, Mick, like, the best part about it, dude, that I love is literally we would go out fishing as a kid, some of my fondest memories. And we would go out, we go lobstering, we go fishing, spear fishing, flats fishing, and you come back with dinner. You get back in at 12, 1 o'clock, you come back, and then all of a sudden you're taking your bite to the half shell raw bar, and they're cooking the food fresh for you, sides of rice and corn, and like you just have
Let's go.
It's just ridiculous. It's just, I don't know, man. I'm excited to go back this weekend. Just a little more taste before I'm done, before I'm back to work. So, yeah, man. But I would say this: people would look, where do I stay down there? I think the best bet, honestly, is just get like a little Airbnb or stay at a bed and breakfast. So look into the VRBOs, Airbnbs, like split it up with families. Really good. Sunset Key, you can stay out there. It's not that expensive. There's hotels out there, like in comparison to what other places are where you have a private island. It's very doable. And then I'll say Sunset Key's good through Opal. Opal's nice. Ocean Key House, the Marker's great. Kimpton's great. Scarlet Mango's great. So that's kind of where to stay. And then how to get there. That's always a big question. If you have time and you're staying for a little bit of time, I suggest you fly into Miami or Fort Lauderdale, rent a car, and do the 4-hour drive down. You're going to stop at little bars and restaurants on the way. You're going to pull over and let the kids feed the sharks and the tarpon. Like, it's going to be, you're going to understand where you're going. Because once you hit Florida City, it's one single lane road for 2.5 hours all the way down to Key West.
Yeah, I saw it on the map. So what do you take? Can we take a puddle jumper into Key West?
So that's the way we used to go. And then I would suggest drive in and then fly out to finish that conversation, because you don't want to drive out after a long week or weekend there. But flying in, dude, you can fly direct from Philly, Chicago, Dallas, Houston, Charlotte, Atlanta, Miami, Fort Lauderdale, Orlando, Tampa, DC. I mean, you're flying from now. It's all over, man. They're redoing the entire airport. Like, it's a serious operation. The old days, dude, we used to get in the puddle jumper and like we had to like leave luggage behind because you had like too much weight, you know. Like, I'm sitting there in the joystick and my mom's like, don't touch the joystick, because they ran out of seats and I had to sit next to the pilot. Like, nutty. So, you know, that's kind of it. You know, again, shout out to the Bearded Lady, Shots and Giggles, the Cafe, Lost Boys, First Legal Rum Distillery, Tattoos and Scars, Half Shell Raw Bar, Green Parrot, and Little Whitehouse Sub. So that's kind of it, dude. I mean, I know I ripped it up there and Mick and I were able to chop it up as much, but I wanted to get all the information out because, as Mick can tell, it's a different spot, man. Like, and I say this, the people down there are incredible. Like, I can't wait to go down this weekend and be around the people there. They're just genuine. Like you said, oh, Key West is a huge party. Sure, you can do that. You can also go on a fishing trip. You can also go just for scuba diving. You can also go for just unbelievable meals, family time. I mean, I grew up going down there. My family, that was like, instead of going to Jersey Shore for 2 weeks.
But but at the end of the day, Colin, that's ultimately what it is. It's a nice shore town where everybody wants to just be friendly, have fun, hang out, get after it, and just, you know, let people be. And that's the most important thing. And it's just sounds like a very laid back town where even if you're a first timer, you'll find your way and you'll eventually start to enjoy yourself. And guys like yourself who've been there for years and years and years, like, this has been a tough episode for me because I'm not really familiar with a lot of these places, but can't wait to get down there. Can't wait to just, you know, rip it up and learn a little bit more about these places, get to know these people. And like I said, maybe we will have a little Samboner event down there in the shortcoming.
I think we really got to hire. I mean, it's Mick and I are talking about it, folks, and about doing something down there next year for football playoffs, Super Bowl, something to do with that, because we could easily kill it down there. I mean, my uncle did the cheesesteaks. There's a chili cook-off, maybe a cheesesteak cook-off. So, raising money for local charity. They raised some money for the local firefighters last time with the chili cook-off, which is really cool. So, I mean, it's different because everyone's down there, moved down there, and, no one has like family really. So everybody, that's the bartenders, the servers, the community leaders, lawyers, whoever, bankers that live there. It's one big giant like community. It's almost like a big high school. Everybody's really close. So
that's awesome, man.
The bars are open on Christmas Day there, and they're all in the, it's different than that. So it's a unique thing. Appreciate you guys listening, man. And again, thank you to everyone who supported the show from down in Key West. I mean, it's a great place. So we're going to keep doing these. Again, folks, suggestions of towns. We're going to hit Sea Isle. We're going to hit Cape May. We're going to hit Annapolis. We're going to hit Charleston. We're going to hit, maybe pockets of Philly, Montgomery County, Bucks County. That's what we're going to do, because I think it's good to feature these once a month for you guys. Hey, I'm making a trip to Hershey, PA. Boom, go to the Samboners. We're going to lead you in the right direction. It's a place to stay, place to eat, place to drink, all that stuff. So anything here, Mickey, before we wrap up, bud?
No, man, this has been exciting. And like I said, you got me licking my chops here, man. I'm in Dresher, Pennsylvania right now, folks. And we're talking about Key West.
Hey, listen, thanks to Rust Belt. Thanks to the original Fudge Kitchen. Keep on freaking Samboning, baby. Samboner out.
Samboner out.